go on YouTube. Thank goodness I don't have to do another one. That's your grandma's birthday too. That is so awesome. Um, so it says that we are live on YouTube, so this is a beautiful thing. Maybe we won't have to do this video twice. So welcome, I'm Tam of Tam's Creative Journey, and I do all kinds of things. I do beadwork, I do junk journaling, scrapbooking, bookmaking. It would take me all day to tell you what I do, but what we are working in today is what I like to call a working journal. And the working journal is this. I'm going to scooch this out of the way. It is an old book that we have repurposed from, oh my gosh, no, it didn't go. My YouTube's all good. Thank you for looking for me because I can't see it. It's telling me that it's frozen, so all good. We took an old book, and there is a series on the YouTube channel of how we deconstructed it, how we created new pages and bound them in the journal. And now what we're doing is just different exercises. And the reason I call this a working journal is because I don't want this to be a pretty journal. There are 5 million videos and people that show how to make the pretty journals from the kits, from repurposed things. This is a true junk journal because it's made out of old papers, old envelopes, things that would end up in the bin or would end up in the landfills, and we are repurposing them, using them to create the working journal. And all of the exercises that I teach, what I want you to be able to do is to do the exercise with me, but have an opposite page where you can write the directions. And this book is going to be filled with all different exercises, whether it's how to make a jelly print, how to make a specific pocket. You can write notes and keep them for yourself so you can flip through this and say, oh, I really like this pocket, but I don't remember how I did it. This is kind of like your guide to your uber pretty junk journals, because then you'll be able to flip through it and say, oh, I really like this technique. How did we do that? I have the directions written down. That is the purpose of this journal and of this class. Above and beyond that, I like to show different exercises that can help with your mental health, that can, when you're feeling out of control, when you're feeling depressed, when you're dealing with grief, when you're dealing with loss, all of the things that we as humans deal with these days, there comes a point in time where you just really need to figure out how you can deal with it on your own, above and beyond everything else. And I have a lot of different exercises that I use in my own life, and I want to be able to share them here with all of you. So maybe you have those in your wheelhouse to help you through a rough time. Maybe your life is perfect. Maybe you don't need that. That's okay, because the things that we're doing, you can just use in your journal. So it's kind of double duty here in what we're doing. And as long as I can continue to help people and continue to share all of this knowledge that is in my brain, I'm going to continue to do it. So all of that said, we are going to attempt to flip the camera around, and we are going to go down to the art desk, and I'm going to show you what I have down here. So hold on a minute and we will be flipped around. And we're going to see there. So what I have on my desk today, let me pull this up a little bit. I have a mess on my desk today after yesterday, but here we are. It's all junk. Okay, so we've got this. Kat, welcome in. Elrose Collections. Thanks, Sarita. Janelle. Deanna, welcome. And Carol Swift. So here we are. We have a whole lot of stuff here. If you purchase this kit, you're going to have exact things. If you didn't, look around your art room, look around your creative space, and just grab some things. I think what we're going to start with is this 6x9 envelope. And we are also going to be working with some scrapbook papers. I am trying to flip over here. Sorry. Okay, we got it. So I'm going to be working with this 6x9 envelope, probably a napkin, because napkins are great. In order to get this on, you are going to need a matte medium, or you can use a tacky glue, you can use a PVA glue, you can use whatever adhesive you have that dries clear. So we're going to work with that. Another thing I grabbed were some old labels and some old scrapbook paper. So I'm trying to see what is going to look best with this. And I really don't have a plan in mind today other than we all had a crazy day yesterday. This is a old retired Bo Bunny piece of paper. Magnolia Mountains Art. Welcome. So I think that's probably going to be our best match that I grabbed. Sorry for all the flipping around. I think that one's going to be a little dark, but we'll see what happens. For right now, what I want to do is show you how to, and somebody asked earlier, how to decoupage. And it kind of struck me as, oh my gosh, we used to do this 20, 30 years ago. And people that are new to the junk journaling world, people that are new to creating, maybe you don't know how to do a decoupage. Some people use Mod Podge. I choose not to. It's a personal preference. My opinion is that Mod Podge actually dries very tacky and can be kind of a pain in your journal because it makes your pages stick. That is my personal thoughts on it. So there's that. So napkins generally come as a 2-ply or a 3-ply. If you are having trouble unsticking them, if you give a little tear at the edge, it's going to give you something to grab a hold of. So you get just this top layer. Debbie, thank you so very much for your purchase. I appreciate you. Don't throw this part away. This can be used to stamp on, to create patterns, to draw on, all the things. We're going to set that aside for right now. And I want to put this down, but here's the thing. That looks kind of boring to me. So what I like to do with these envelopes, and we may have a bit of dry time. We'll see how this works out. When you are working with matte medium, you always want to have a older brush that is just for your glues, because you don't want to ruin your good paint brushes with the mediums. Okay. I want to put down some book page, and this is the signatures book pages that we pulled out of our book when we first deconstructed it. I have cut this. Obviously, it's a mess. You can just go in and tear out pages. I prefer to have the jagged edges. If you want a straight edge, you can go in with an X-Acto knife and a straight edge, and you can just go down the edge of that metal ruler, and that's going to pull out a straight edge. However you want to do it is fine. It's all about personal choice. I'm going to roll with ripping some out, and I'm going to pull probably 4 or 5 pages. I don't know how many I'm going to need, but just so I have enough and this can get out of our way. The next thing that I want to do with this is give it some tears. It doesn't have to be straight, because what we're doing is we're collaging the book pages onto our envelope. It's just an easy thing to do. I like the aged edge, but I don't like the straight edge. You can choose to keep yours. You can choose to do however you want to do it. A lot of people like to ink their edges before they collage. For the purposes of what we're doing today, it's really not that necessary, because we're going to be putting napkin over the top of it. And if we really want that aged edge look, you can do that with liquid ink. Has anybody ever done that before? Use the liquid acrylic ink to age your pieces. Maybe we'll do that. Something different. And here's the thing, and I know we talk about doing things with the mental health, usually coffee, that works. If you don't have a liquid acrylic ink, you can use a coffee. I'm not going to dump my coffee on the project, hopefully. Minerva's Touch, welcome. Did I say that right? Mama Rose, welcome. So we're just tearing up some paper. One of the things with working with doing things for your mental health, sometimes something as simple as tearing up papers is really good for your mental health. What it does when you activate, what watercolor and chalk pastel make a nice combo to add color and texture? Absolutely. Nice. Minerva's Touch. I'm so glad I got that right. Some days it's good and some days it isn't. Hi, Normal Designs. Miss Mickey, how are you today? We're tearing paper. If you don't feel like creating, or you don't know what to create, or you don't know where you're going, some days just sit and tear a pile of paper. Another thing that is a very good exercise for your mental health is to go through your book pages or your magazine pages and cut out words and use them on your projects. Like, I have the best of you. That would be an amazing saying on an artist trading card or on an actual card. Um, it's just a way to distract your brain from stress. Amber, hello, welcome. How are you? All of these things, when you activate that side of your brain that is creative, what it does is it resets the chemicals in your brain. And Absolutely. I'm so glad that you taught that. It makes me happy. Magnolia Mountains Art says, when I taught art, my SE classes, my neurodivergent kiddos loved tearing and cutting paper to soothe the meltdown. That that is the best. I often did this. I worked with. It's funny you worked with kiddos. I worked with elderly people, and we did this project with my absolutely. We did this project with our dementia patients, and we would just have them sit and tear paper. Now, all of these can be used for so many different things. Um, if you want to go crazy into it, these scraps can be used to make handmade paper. These scraps can be randomly glued to a canvas as texture on a background. There's so many things that you can do with these. You kind of have to get to the point of how much do I want to keep and how much space do I have to keep these things. But when keeping these things, please know that it always has a purpose. And that is one of the things that was the basis of junk journaling, is that all the things would be used. Things that would normally end up in the landfill, that would end up in trash, we put into handmade journals, handmade books, all of those things. It's the best. So we're going to set those aside. We're probably not going to play with them today. Um, I taught K to 2 cutting foam sheets was also great, and I had a big book of textured wallpaper they enjoyed. Textured wallpaper is amazing. As an adult, I love it. Um, so there is that. Yes, it's it is amazing how just creating can make such a huge difference. So I'm going to set this pile up here. We may or may not use all of it. Um, I'm going to open this just because this has a sticky part here and I don't want to accidentally glue that shut because we're going to need it. Um, this is where we get our matte medium. You can use, like I said, any glue. Excuse me. I put a dab down. I put a huge dab down because when you are collaging, sometimes more is better because you want your stuff to stick. I like to go off the edges. You don't have to, but what I'm doing is I'm putting a layer of the matte medium down, and then I'm putting a layer of the matte medium on top. So that's sealing that in for whatever I want to put on top of it. And I'm just grabbing from this down here to add more. You can do it whatever direction. You can keep it all directional. However you want to do it, there is no right or wrong way to do this. You can overlap. I like to make sure that my edges are overlapped. Um, if we were doing an art project, I would tell you to keep some white space because creating art and having balance, it's very good to have white space. But for the purposes of this, the majority of this is going to be covered up. Um, the thing with this is what it's doing is it's letting us create. We've got a paintbrush in our hand. We don't have to be artists. We don't have to be able to draw from sight everything we see. It's a way to create. It is a way to keep our brains happy, to soothe us, to calm us, all the things that we do in art. what is matte medium? Matte medium is actually a additive for acrylic paints. It is used very widely in the art world, but we have discovered over the years, many, many years ago, it makes an amazing glue. So we use it to glue things down. It is also an amazing sealant. It extends your paint when you are painting. Yeah. And it just is a very versatile medium to work with. So like as I'm painting over this, and I have a big wrinkle there that I'm just getting out with my paintbrush, which is probably not a good idea, but that's okay. We got it. Um, so I'm sealing this at the same time as I'm gluing it down. So I could actually watercolor over the top of this because it's created a barrier, and this is all warping. It's a hot mess. We see that. It's okay. I need more of this though. Stick it up there out of my way. And if anybody in chat has more input on that, please go ahead and throw that in there. And it is not sticky when it dries like Mod Podge. It dries, and they do have gloss medium too. So if you like that glossy look, you can get the gloss medium. It has all the same properties and it works just the same. So depending upon what final look you want, you could do the gloss medium or the matte medium. Um, Personally, I prefer the matte, but that is again a personal choice. You could do this with your regular glue. Um, I'm reading chat. There are also different types of matte medium. Sid has watercolor texture matte medium. Absolutely, you can get the textured ones. Um, Kind of the same thing as, are you familiar with the texture pastes? I know Jen was demoing texture paste yesterday in her demo, and there's many different brands and many different consistencies. It kind of depends on end what your desired end result is, what kind you should get, if that makes any sense at all. No, you're good. Um, this would be something very good for you if, like in making your jewelry, if you wanted to seal something before you resin it because you don't want it to bleed. Say it's a watercolor piece or something that you've used something that is water reactive and you don't want it to bleed when you're going to put your resin over it. This is a really good product to seal that before you go there because it's going to seal that in. Kind of a thing that works in many different ways. It's such a versatile product. I mix it in with my acrylic paints when I am doing canvas painting just because it kind of seals everything into place. And say I'm doing a portrait and I don't want all of the shadows and lights to go away because I'm adding more color to it. I can put a layer of this and then keep going, and I don't lose all my shadows and lights because they don't blend. Um, that kind of thing. You're welcome, Mickey. I relate it to what Mickey does. Mickey makes resin jewelry. So we have this. It's kind of a sticky mess. And we could do one of two things. We could wait for it to dry and we could start all over again. Or we can just keep going with what we're doing. I think I'm going to do half of this napkin because it's such an odd shape. If you're worried about a napkin tearing straight, you can take a paintbrush with water and you can draw the line that you want to tear and you pull it and it tears just amazing and straight and all the things. As you all probably know, not too worried about straight because the grungier the better as far as I am concerned. So if we're gonna, and this is where I'm thinking, I'm gonna out loud what my brain just said. Here's our opening. I'm gonna fold this in half, so I want 2 pockets on the right. So this is gonna be the top of my project. So I want this to sit like this, so it sits in my book like this. Out louding thought processes. So this is still kind of tacky, but not real tacky up here. So one of the things with using napkins is this gel medium is really thick. It's a gel. I mean, hello. So what I can do is water this down a little bit. I'm just using my fingers to push it down. Trying not to get a ton of wrinkles in it, but yet have some wrinkles, if that makes any sense. I don't want a ton. I don't want it to tear. So I'm taking my brush, and what I'm going to do, this is going to sound crazy, because I have so much matte medium on here, I'm just going to lightly dip it in water because it's going to spread that. And I'm going from the center out, but I'm kind of, I guess I'm mixing my adhesive with a little bit of water to just help it all stick down. Um, I don't want any air bubbles. I don't want to tear this. And if I were to paint this with the straight gel medium, because it's so thick, it may tear my napkin. So this is one way to just kind of keep it from tearing. Put a little bit down there. So I've used most of what is on my brush. And so I'm just kind of watering this down into a watery glue to get those edges and make sure that everything is glued down and sealed, because we want to go over the top of everything with our matte medium. So if we want to stamp on top of this, if we want to, Dawn, thank you for that. If we want to stamp over the top of it, if we want to stencil over the top of it, we want to make sure that that's sealed, and that's part of the beauty of your matte medium, because not only is it getting gluing everything down, we're going over the top and sealing this. We're sealing all of that gorgeousness in and trying really hard not to tear any of these images. We especially want to do the butterflies because we all know I love butterflies. And understand the matte medium that I had underneath is also soaking through, because that, I mean, we have a very, very fine layer of a napkin. They tear easily. Please understand, if it tears, your project is not ruined. It just adds some interest to it. The Naked Maple, my friend, how are you today? I saw that you were doing a raid train 2 days in a row, my friend. Much impressed. Okay, do not let your matte medium dry in your brush. That is like rule number one with this. Use as much as you can out of it, but make sure you rinse it in water. We're going to set this aside for right now. I am going to flip it over. I want to make sure that this envelope, it didn't soak through, and this envelope has not glued shut. So I have my hand in there. It's open. Look at this fun thing. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to stick it inside of there. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to set it aside to dry for a little bit. So I have an old jar. Somebody in the raid train yesterday was talking about using old jars. I was in I can't even talk today, Critter Shop's show over the weekend, and he was asking me about these decorative marbles and what they're for. They're normally used in floral design, but I put them in the bottom of an old jar so it gives me something to wipe my brush on, and I'm not ruining the ferrule, but I'm able to rub out. You can buy the fancy dancy paintbrush cleaners where it has the ridges at the bottom that you run your brush over, and those are beautiful to have, but they're not necessary because you can use different things that you have around and get the same result. Okay. The sky. That's funny. What's up today? Hi, Karen. How are you, my friend? So, brush is clean. We're going to set that aside. That's funny. We used almost all of these. Hello, love. We're playing. I'm tired from yesterday. Being on Whatnot for 14 hours can be exhausting. Modding everybody, watching shows, making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. It is a lot, but we did it, and I'm just kind of playing in here today. I don't know what we're going to end up doing. I literally started this show and did not have a plan in place. That's it. My plan was to come live and see how everybody is doing and create something. So there's that. We are going to slide this out of the way, and we're going to look at our book and see where we're at. Where are we at with our book? So we did a couple of little mental health exercises. I do have a question. Has anybody used either one of these exercises since we went over them? And how did it work? This is one of the pockets that we did. This is one of the double pockets that we did. I'm thinking we need to make some tags for these because that was like a month ago. And then last week we made this. You've made pockets and tags. That's awesome. We made this out of some old envelopes. We covered it with some scrapbook paper. We tipped it in with some washi tape and some art glitter glue because we all know we do not trust washi tape to hold anything permanently. And then we made this cute little journaling spot that you can write on. Those are kind of where we're at so far in this. Does anybody have any questions or any requests? of where we want to go with this. So we have that. That's out of the way. That is just like a blaringly white piece of paper. Here, we have music. These are, I will say that whenever I'm out thrifting, one of the things that I very religiously grab are the old stationaries packages. I had the Naked Maple pick up a couple of packs for me last week. They're sitting in my mailbox. I wish I had them, but I don't. But these are amazing for if you've ordered from me, you all know that's what you get when you for your packing slip is an old piece of stationery. Um, they're great for pages and journals. They're great for jelly printing on. They're just they're awesome, and people don't use stationery anymore for its intended purpose. So they're always in the thrift stores because people are donating them and not using them for what they're meant for. And we as creators can find amazing things to do with these pre-printed papers. So keep your eyes out for those. Let me see, Maria. Shane's still putting together your signatures. That's awesome, babe. You've made pockets. What can you use to make that curve on the opening of the pocket? Oh, I showed this last week. I You can actually take anything round, draw a circle, and just cut it out with your scissors. That is like the easiest way to do it if you don't have punches. Right. Let me go backwards. I'm gonna address that. Jane says a round punch or a whale tail punch, or take a quarter and trace around half of it. Um, Banch Cat, welcome. It's the thumb spot. Also, if you have the envelope maker, the notch works too. Thank you, Sharon K, for that. Nan, welcome. Or eyeball it and cut a circle. So here's the thing with it. I have all the things in my art room because I have been teaching art for classes for 30 plus years, and we're just going to leave that right there because I'm stinking old. But I try to always make sure we have alternatives for people that are newer to creating. And back when I first started making junk journals, we did not have all the fancy dancy tools that they have nowadays. And we had to make do. And one of the things with this that I always look at, and it's so amazing to me, is that, geez, Tamara, let's do this the right way. Um, there's always a way around it, okay? And I want to be able to teach, excuse me, the way around it. So if you're doing a basic envelope, you never want to fold right here. You want to give yourself a little bit of room to put things in. So my fold is right here. If I want a finger notch right here, I can actually take something dark that you can see. If you can't, so this is where my finger notch is going to be. I can get really precise with it and put like a little fold there so I know where the center is. Take half of this bottle, or like Jane said, a quarter, draw around it. Take a small pair. And here's the thing, when you're doing small cuts, use a small pair of scissors. These people that use these ginormous scissors to do little itty bitty cuts make no sense to me. And I'm just going to cut around it. Move your paper, hold your scissors straight up and down. This is fussy cutting 101. Keep your scissors straight up and down and move your paper. There you have it. Yeah, there's a bazillion tools out there. Um, I've said many times that I'm a tool hoe because I have to have all the tools. Um, but it is easy peasy. Yes. The thing with it is not everybody has the tools. And when I first started doing all of this, we didn't have the tools. We like did legit real junk journals because it was out of things that we were going to throw away. Um, that is what it is. This is still wet. Yeah, the small spray bottles are perfect for this. What else can I show you while we're waiting patiently or impatiently for this to dry? Because I'm in Arizona and things usually dry like lickety split, and for some reason that's taking forever. The reason is because I saturated it with gel medium. We all know this. Gabby and Sam, welcome in. Miss Carol, how are you doing today? I saw you go floating by in the chat. You took your son home at 3 and it was way too hot. Yeah, it's well, 100 degrees here. And where we live is about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than Phoenix because we're north. So you're very welcome. I'm so happy your box arrived safely. Mine is still sitting in the mailbox waiting for Rob to stop and get the mail. 109 in your car with the AC running. It's perfect at 73. Oh my gosh. We're playing in a junk journal, playing with all the things. So, um, where shall we go from here, my friends? Let's see what else we have over here to play with. I know I had papers. Where did we put the papers, Tam? Y'all, where did I put those papers? I just had them. Oh, it's over here underneath all this stuff. Gracious, Tamara. So we have a 12 by 12 page. It kind of matches with that. We were talking about what we were going to do with it. This is an old vintage Bo Bunny. It's the Prairie Chic, and I adore Bo Bunny papers. They are high quality, and the thickness is perfect. They have amazing graphics on them, and yeah, I just love them. So we're gonna play with this. Ask earlier about past exercises. Your tree has 5 branches, not 10. Wendy, I am very happy that your tree has 5 branches. I would be happy if your tree had 1 branch. And if you don't know what we're talking about, the tree branches are branches that we drew to hold the things that we love about ourselves. And the first time I did it, no, I was in tears. And some days I still struggle to do it. One of the things that you can take that exercise, and I'm going to go back to that just because you brought that up, because we have to wait for this silly thing to dry, and it's not drying. You gonna see what it's doing right now? It's hanging out up there. It's on the glue bottle, and it's soaking wet. So we're going to go to another exercise. We're going to revisit this. Um, it was a very hard exercise. Some days it's harder than others, but here's the thing: if you are at a point where you're struggling, maybe you're having a bad day, maybe you don't really know what to do. Um, so I want to show this exercise again. This is really important to me, and I know seems very childish, and it seems over the top, but it really makes you stop and think. And we did this little whimsical tree because it's fun. You don't have to, what is the word I'm like? You don't have to be an artist. Um, it makes you think. And it's a whimsical little tree. It's kind of cute, kind of ugly, but it's there. And so let's just say this isn't about you. Tell me, let's put in this little tree. What is something that you are grateful for today? One thing that you're grateful for today. What I'm grateful for today is the opportunity to teach. I'm putting you in a trance, Alice. That's good because you need some relaxation in your life, my friend. And I will say, talking to you on the phone today made me very happy, made my heart happy. I miss our talks. Oh, look, I'm grateful for friends. Yep, just going up the tree. And if you do this, it may seem silly, but what it does is it makes you really think about where you're at. Instead of focusing on the negative, instead of focusing on woulda, shoulda, coulda, what could be, in this very moment where you sit, where you are at, what are you thankful for? You don't have to draw a tree if you don't want to draw a tree. We have over here, we have a gazillion pages in here. You can make a list in your books. That's why we put all of these fun pages in our books. Um, Wendy, thank you. Much love to you, my friend. Um, Today's date. We're gonna do this. June 10th. I'm putting this straight in my book. 2025. What are you grateful for right now? That was a question mark, Tamara. What are you grateful for right now? Wendy, jump out of your head and into mine. I'll scare you. We can talk later if you want to, my friend. I would be more than happy to chat with you at any time. So, what are you grateful for right now? One, I wrote the opportunity to teach. Two, okay, I was making sure I had that. I'm grateful for friends. Three, I am grateful to be able to make a difference. The ability to make a difference. Now, if I was out in the outside world, I'm always, always grateful for coffee. When I'm out in the world working, traveling to people's houses, to facilities, doing all the things, yes, I was able to teach. Yes, I was able to help people, but it was a different place every day. It was a different problem, a different house, a different facility, a different set of disaster because I dealt with the disasters. And by being able to be home and to be on Whatnot and be able to reach out and meet new people and make new friends, I can sit at home, not drive to town, and I have people that can message me and say, Tam, I'm having a really bad day. Can you help me through this? Absolutely. Talk to me. What's going on? So I'm still using all of those nursing skills that I paid thousands of dollars for schooling and got my degree and got all the things. I can use all of those tools right here and play with pretty supplies and hang out with really cool people. And how I can put that, Jane, don't make me cry, dang it. How I can put that in just a few lines, I don't know. But I kind of put it there. Being able to make a difference is that's what I'm here for. Do I have bad days? Oh, hell yeah. I do. I have bad days. I have days where I don't want to people, I don't want to talk to anybody, but I come in my art room and I draw, I paint, I rip up papers. These are all these things that I do to help me. And if I can find a way to help all of you in the process, that makes it so much better. It's a thing. I try to keep creative juices flowing. Some days my creativity stayed in bed and didn't get out of it with me. I don't know. But when that happens, I always try to have something I can do that is creative. I have a ton of these books that I've made just out of junk, out of scrap papers, out of jelly prints. Um, I have a bunch of these. Some of them I show, some of them nobody ever sees. When it gets dark in my head, I write out the darkness. This exercise we did, I'm going to go back to this, is so important. I wrote the darkness and then I covered it up and I made it something semi pretty. It reset my brain. I got it all out. It's not bottled up inside. When we bottle up inside our stresses, our grief, our negativity, our anger, our hurt, when we bottle those emotions, that is what creates stress. That is what creates physical pain. That is what creates all of the discord within our physical bodies because our emotions are holding us back and making us physically ill. So, art is a way to get all of those things out and help us through this. These are silly little exercises. If somebody were to pop into my show right now and look at this and go, "Oh, yeah, you're not an artist," fling, right on, gone. Hi, Mel. I'm on. How are you doing, my sweet? I'm on a soapbox. That's how I am. Can I draw? Can I do a huge canvas? Absolutely. This doesn't need that. What this needs is to get it out of your head and onto paper in so many ways. Does that make sense? You don't have to be an artist to do these things. You really don't. You don't have to be able to draw. You can draw a stick figure. I don't care. Brain dumping is like the very first thing that they teach you in a mental health class. It is the very first thing they teach you in grief counseling. Brain dumping is, yes, ma'am, I am. It is all one word, it's not separated. Um, all of these things that we do here, if I can save one person, then it's worth it. So, make your list. What are you grateful for? It's still not dry. I think I like overabundance of gel medium. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you. It's gonna be an envelope. It may take us a while because it's very wet, and I do not want to glue it together because that would be very sad because it's really pretty. Mel, thank you. I appreciate you. Anywho, this is going to be our folder. This is what we're going to do. We're going to add this to our book. We're going to have 2 pockets here. We might even throw some extra pages in here. I haven't decided yet, but it's got to dry first, and it's taken forever because you would think in the Arizona heat it would have been dry already, and for some reason it just doesn't want to dry. So the universe knows that whatever I just said needed to be heard by somebody. So we're going to go back. Yeah, it's not dry. Art lines, thank you. Hell Stacy, welcome. Kayla K, welcome. Sup Karen, hi. I hear you and feel you. Broder, welcome in. So we're kind of constructing this 6x9 envelope into a book that we're going to put in our journal. Because it's taking forever to dry, we've decided that we're going to actually turn it into a mini book. And so we're going to grab some more pages. And we're going to throw this in there for our little exercise, our little impromptu mental health exercise that we do, because that's what we do. Critter Chops, hello, how are you? Welcome. I was just talking about you. It was all good. Never fear. Um, so let's get a good measurement of this before we get too crazy. Your envelope may be a different measurement than mine. So please keep that in mind. We pivot because Tam got emotional. Yes. My coffee is cold and I got emotional. So we're pivoting. Jeez, oh Pete, for all those, holy Tam. Thank you, Maria. Love you back. Wendy, no, never, ever, ever be sorry. There's a reason for everything. So this we're going to roll with 9 inches. You try to be so good. When people say bad things about me, no one believes them. I said good things about you. I said that we were in your show, you were trying to figure out what to do with all of those crazy rocks. And I put it in chat. So I'm going to like physically show you. Oh, this is a cute little gift I got from somebody, Sharon, with her swaps this month. Just saying. I take an old jar. Remember those little rocks you were looking at? I put them in the bottom of a jar and use it to clean my paintbrush, because if somebody doesn't have or can't afford one of the Ridge cleaners, these work perfect. And I have like 4 of them in my art room. So I've always got water to clean my brushes with. So there you have. Um, it is always a safe place here. Always. These are, there's this, I threw a couple of decorative marbles in there just because I got them in an order. I don't know why. But the, yes, you can get the containers. Some of them have lids on them. Some of them are this, that, and the other. But if you're trying to save money for more paint, use an old pasta jar, clean it out, wash it, throw some of these decorative marbles or whatever in the bottom, and you have a sealed lid and you've got your water jar that's not going to dump everywhere in your art room. So there's my artist tip for the day. I need a piece of paper to write on because obviously I keep squirreling. Squirreling. I swear I have one in here that's gessoed, which is even better so y'all can see. Look, I have a gessoed piece of paper in here, or painted, whatever. Here's our list. And I'm writing with my very favorite pencil in the whole world. If you have never tried one of these, I don't even know what to tell you. Art lines. Sweetie, I apologize. What is your name? I cannot remember to save my soul right this second. Christina, thank you. Christina, do you carry these? And do you carry them in other colors? Does gesso have a smell? It depends upon the ingredients, but for the most part, all acrylic, mediums, and paints have a smell. No, but you can get some real soon. Okay. So these, I will show you. They come in all different colors. I'm sure you probably know, but we're going to do this. They have different colors. That's not one. And that's not one. So they have the different colors of them. I use in almost every class I do, I use the black and the brown and the green because I do a lot of florals. I do a lot of faces. These are so uber dark when you activate them with water. It is amazing. Um, You have these, but not watercolor. You have you have the best watercolor in the whole world. Oh, watercolor, critter, squirrel, excuse me. So, Christina, I will message you or you can message me. They come in cases of 12. I would like to get a case of all three if possible from you. So there's that. I used to buy them by the case from the art store, but if I can support a fellow seller, I'd rather do that. So just put that. Critter Chops has your very own thing. So tell me, my sweet, my Skylight and my Sky Night look almost exactly the same. Is there a possibility that they were mislabeled? Thank you, Christina. I appreciate you. Okay, so they are pretty much the same. Got you. So if y'all need watercolors, and this may sound crazy to you, um, I have, okay, got you. I haven't used them together or mixed them. I just swatched them, so I wasn't sure if I messed up. You think yours is bad? It really smells. Does it go bad? Let me see. I have a huge gallon bucket, so this has been around forever. It smells like dirty socks. I'm just saying. I try not to smell it, Karen. It smells like dirty socks, love. Um, Sharon K, welcome. Two different pigments. Amber, welcome. Artline, okay. Yummy. Not really. So I'm going to say this. If you play in watercolors, I don't know how many of you have played in watercolors. Watercolors are not cheap, okay? Watercolors are really expensive, and some of the quote unquote high end watercolors can be $30 to $40 for a tiny little tube like this big. I have some. Critter Chops, who is here in our chat, if you want to play in watercolors, has the most amazing colors for $10 to $15 a pan. That is a freaking steal of a deal. Because if you know, these pans last through a lot of painting. Karen, love you. True. At least it wasn't sturdy underwear. Same. But anywho, these colors are amazing. He has all of the pigments that you can literally mix your own colors, but you can use some of his specialty colors, and they're creamy, they're to die for. I love them very much. So, he's probably gonna shoot me right now. Is he even still in here? Wendy, you need to do a tree every week, my sweet. He took off. Crap. Critter, where are you? He's gonna yell at me. Oh, you're still here. Most good. Absolutely good. No, you're not paying me to say this. I want you to know. Critter Shop, here's the thing. Everybody in my chat knows I am blunt. And I don't pull any punches, and I am not going to say these watercolors amazing if they are not. I'm going to tell, I wouldn't even be showing them right now. I really hope you're prepared to sell some of these, because I am going to tell anybody that wants to play with watercolors. These colors are highly pigmented. They are handmade, which most handmade watercolors are like $40 to $50 a tray. Just saying. Get these while you can before he sells out, because he's a lazy ass and isn't going to make any more. So what he has is what he has. This Rust Red is going to be like one of my new favorite colors in the whole world. This Vamp Blood actually shimmers purple, which is to die for. Um, I just, this is a perfect mix of colors to do anything that you want to do. I'm just saying. So if you ever want to play with watercolors, you have some extra money. What I will say is this, and just know your three basic colors are the blue, red, and yellow. So if you cannot afford all of them, get a blue, get a red, get a yellow, and you can mix most any color just to play with these because, oh my gosh, they're adorable. Can you see the purple shimmer in that color? I don't know if you can see it on camera. You're lazy. Why is Maple tagging me? Talking shit about Critter and Maple's tagging me. How does this happen? Anyway, no, he's not. He's an amazing artist and has some really awesome things. Also has very, very good deals on art supplies that he got. And hi Maple, how are you, love? I'm talking crap. But anyway, just give him a follow. He has an amazing array of things that we can create with. He needs to get rid of him because his wife is really tired of him being in her house. So do a fellow girl a favor and go to his shows on Saturdays and buy his stuff because he needs to get rid of some of it. Um, his shop is going to be empty. Just go into his Saturday show because he pulls random stuff out. I literally have a box on the way to me. Lord only knows what's in it. I will say that I had to pay shipping twice for it. So I don't know how his shipping is set up, but if it's like most people, that means I went overweight and started over again with a new one. So we'll see how that works out. So, all of that said, amazing watercolors with lots of crafty supplies, stamps, all of that. Another thing I wanted to point out, as long as Critter Shops is in here, your wood mounted stamps. I know even I have a plethora of wood mounted stamps that I need to destash because I have so many. And yes, I keep buying them, but there is a way to get them off of the wood blocks and make it to where you can use them on your acrylic blocks. So, if you have a whole ton of stamps that you just don't want to store these blocks anymore, there is a way to get these off, put a clear film on it, and use these with a acrylic block. So if anybody is interested in that, let me know and I can do a little pop up and teach you how to do that. I'm I'm not blaming it on his wife. I'm saying we need to support her in the deal of you're starting to hate them. Um I mean there's ways around it. If you get it'd take a little work, but I could show you how to fix them. All right, we're going to go back to our project. Geez, I am like off on a tangent today, y'all. How does this happen? I kid. Yeah, get those wood blocks. Tangent 9. We were doing this. I pulled this out. I went to the Stabilos and Critter came in and Maple came in and 9 inches by 6 inches. Just double checking. So here's the thing. This is going to be dirty socks. I know everything. This is going to be folded in half like this. So it is technically going to be 4.5 inches by 6 inches. Okay, when it's folded in half. So folded is going to be 4.5 by 6 inches. Okay. I'm teaching you how I break this down to make a book. So pay close attention. You want approximately 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch on each side for your pages, right? Because you don't want your pages to go all the way to the edge. You want them in a little bit. So just for the sake of measuring, we're going to say if we take a 1/2 an inch, it's going to give us 1/4 of an inch on each side. So we're going to subtract 0.5 or a 1/2 an inch. That is not a good pen to be writing with. Where is it at? Where did it go? It's in my book. Okay. So we're going to subtract the 0.5 or 1/2 inch, however you look at it, from that 6 inches. So we want this 6 inches to be 5.5, right? And so this direction, if we take a 1/2 an inch off, it's going to be 8.5 because I'm taking it from our original measurement of this because we want full pages so we can fold them in half and bind them in the center. Squirrel, there's always a squirrel in my world. My mascot should be a squirrel, but it's actually a butterfly. So it's butterfly moments in my world. You are very interested in learning how to convert the wood stamps. Ruby, send me a DM because that's going to trigger my little ADHD brain to remind me to do that and to tag you when I do it. Sound like a plan? Thank you, ma'am. My coffee's cold and we're doing pages. So I want pages that are 8.5 by 5.5. Guess what? I'm untangling my legs because I'm sitting crisscross. A piece of computer paper is 8.5 by 11, right? So we need our pages 8.5 by 5.5. So guess what happens? Half of 11 is 5.5. So if you take this page, which is the size of a computer paper, and you can use junk mail, you can use whatever you want to do this. This is going to be the perfect size to make our little book. Isn't it genius? So you can, if you want to, have a paper cutter and do all the things and do it all nice and neat. I am going to fold this in half. I have my edge that is folded. I have my metal ruler right up against that. That's this. I'm going to put all those torn edges on the same direction. This just became 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages in our little booklet. Thank you, Ruby. I appreciate you. Golden Girl 3220 and Sarah Drummond Miller. Welcome. See how easy that was? You can use your jelly prints. I have a stack of jelly prints that I was playing with yesterday, doing stuff. It's some roll-off pages. So these are just some pages that I was rolling off my paint when I was doing my demo yesterday. Same deal. I'm going to fold it in half. put a crease in it, fold it the other way because I want to make sure that crease is really good. Again, I'm going to take that metal ruler, put it right up in that fold, tight up against it, holding it down, and I'm just tearing this. Okay. So now if we do a jelly print, a plain, a jelly print, a plain, we now have, with 2 pieces of paper, we have a little 16-page booklet. You can fold these all separately if you want to be all precious about it. I don't. I'm good. I'm not too worried about it. So we just have this little 16-page booklet that we're going to stick. Oh my gosh, this is still wet. It's still wet, y'all. That we're going to put inside of the journal that we're creating. So we can actually, fun fact, create like a belly band here where our book is going to slide into. It can be stored in here, and we can take it out to make notes. We can take it out to make lists. We can take it out to say why we love ourselves. All the things, but it's just something to add to your book. Karen, you are precious. I said that, didn't I? I love when you catch me on those little sayings that come out of my mouth. So there's that. Does anybody have a dry envelope at this point? Does anybody have a dry envelope? Oh, that is holy. It's like I want to take it outside and set it in the Arizona sun for a few minutes. That'll fix that nonsense. And I was going to put paint on it, but I just came to the conclusion that that's ridiculous because it's just going to be wetter. So frustrating. It's like if I... Anywho. So do we all remember how to do a pamphlet stitch? Good question, Maria. Do we all remember how to do a pamphlet stitch? I'm going to clean this disaster up a little bit. We're going to act like this is dry because, you know, it should be. It's not, but it should be. So I'm just going to pull. I'm using this metal ruler. You can use a pair of scissors. Karen, you are welcome to use a pair of scissors and have straight edges. I just want to clean it up a little bit. I don't want it perfect. Perfect is intimidating to me. Now, here's a couple of things. You can leave this as is if you want to be able to close that pocket. Or you can chop this off and just keep it as an open pocket, whatever works for you. I'm going to leave mine for right now because I may want it to close. I can always chop it off later, but I can't put it back. So we're going to leave it for right now. So I'm going to close this like this. I'm going to pull this in. I always go down the center. And this is where a bone folder is very helpful. if you don't have a bone folder, here we are, wood stamp. Use that as a bone folder. You just want something that is going to make that crease. A lot of people use the handle of their scissors. You could use the edge of your metal ruler, whatever you have on hand to make sure that you have that crease good. Okay. Figure out which way you want up. Now, you can open this end up if you want to and have a second closing flap, or you can just cut this edge. I like my messy edges. So I'm going to see what can I use to do this. I'm going to see if I can open this up because it is so damp. Maybe. Nah, it doesn't want to open. Not nicely anyway. So we're just going to pull it up. You can decorate the inside of this now, or you can decorate the inside of this later. Or you can just leave it as is. Whatever fits what you're doing. Hey, look, I did a pretty good job there. So we have 2 pockets here. Perfect. Binding pages. Because this is a single signature, a signature is where you take a group of pages, you put them together, and you bind them within a book. Am I going to be all, what's the word I'm looking for? Picky about how I do this like I was before? No. I was showing you the right way to do it before, the proper way to do it, and I'm getting ready to show you how I normally do it. As soon as I grab my little binding tote, because we weren't planning this today. But, you know, when do we ever do what we planned? Is everybody filtering back through? Is that what we're doing? Hello, my friends. Welcome. If you are new, if you are coming back in, welcome. And if whatnot is just filtering you around, then I apologize. So you're going to need a needle. You're going to need some thread. I'm going to use this waxed linen thread. You can use embroidery thread. There's all kinds of things you can use. Another thing that is really good to have is an awl, and that is AWL, not ALL, a pokey tool. However that may look for you. I'm pretty sure I have these for sale in my bin. There's also smaller ones that you can get. That just all the things. We're gonna set that, maybe. Gracious, I got a lot of things on my desk right now. It's kind of crazy. One of the things that you also have in your kit, if you purchased a kit, is a jumbo paper clip. Where mine is right this second, I do not know. But I want to position this. Remember that 1/4 inch that we measured for on either side? I want to position my pages at the edge of this book, and I want to clip it. So I'm making sure that all the things, it's lined up, it's straight, all things are good, right? This is where you can measure or you can eyeball it. I'm not concerned with perfection. That looks kind of the middle. I am putting the pokey tool in that center. I have my fingers on either side because it's going to come out on that spine and I do not want to stab myself. But if you close your book over that and push, and I'm giving it a little push, and yes, it's still wet, and yes, it's probably bad. See how it came out right on that fold? There's my pokey tool, right on that fold. Beautiful. We're going to do that over here, maybe like an inch from the edge. Again, closing my book, holding and pushing. Bam. And then we're going to do the third one down here, about the same distance. Hold it and push. Easy peasy, right? We're going to take our thread, our cord, our ribbon, our whatever we have that is going to fit through those holes. We want 1, 2, 3 links. We're going to chop it. Thread your needle. So when you're doing the pamphlet stitch, if you want your strings and your knot on the inside, start from the inside. If you want your strings and your knot on the outside, start from the outside. Because I am going to be putting this inside of my book, I may want to put some little beading dangles here. So I'm going to go from the outside in just for fun. So I'm going through the middle hole, going through here, pulling that in, and I'm leaving enough of this thread that I have something to throw some beads on. I'm going to go through one of the outside holes, pulling that in. I'm going to go all the way across to the other outside hole, pull that through. I'm going to need some more string. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go back through that first hole, making sure not to pierce my thread, and pull that out. So this is really loose. We need to tighten it up. Okay. So I'm just pulling. I have one thread on one side of that one that went all the way across, and I have one on the other because we're going to tie around that. So pull it tight. You don't want to warp your pages, okay? So you just pull it tight. I'm doing left over right, pull it down, right over left, and I just created a square knot. Take this out, and we just made a little booklet. Just that easy. Isn't that stinking cute? Any questions? That is a napkin from the Dollar Tree. Like for reals. Thank you. So I can do whatever I want with this. I can use this as a pocket. I can go ahead and punch this hole and have it close. Same here. I can decorate. You can do so much with these. So much with these. But it is just a really quick and easy little booklet. You can write in it, you can make lists in it, you can write directions to folding pockets. You could put on the front of your pockets, and then you could use these pages to write all the folds for all of your pockets for your journals. So whenever you want a pocket for one of your journals, you can look at this as a way, pull it out of your book and go, oh, this is where I keep all my pockets and all the folds. All these things, y'all. It's so easy. And we didn't, like, 2 pieces of paper and an envelope, really. And a few book pages that we already pulled out of our book that we're trying to use all of them up. So, any questions on what we just created today? We got a lot done today, y'all. So much done. Maria, thank you. See, this is what happens when you stay up past your bedtime. We get to play and have fun things. Does anybody need me to show anything again, or does anybody have any questions about what we did today? So, I'm going to flip back here. So, June 10th, we did a tangent on what do I love about myself. We did a little booklet. I am going to date this because keeps me on track of what we're doing. And there we have it. Much love. Is there anything else that I need to show you all today? We'll create a little belly band. Oh, that's what we were going to do. We're going to create a belly band to stick this in. That just doesn't match at all. Heritage X Harmony. Welcome. I wonder if we could manage to do it back there. Seems kind of flopsy. Waiting on your envelope to dry. Wendy, do you have a heat gun? Or a blow dryer? Just blow dry it. Heat dry it, whatever. You know how to do a pamphlet stitch, right? Should have yelled at me. I would have slowed down. You do. Okay. So I don't need to show you that part. Good job. A belly band. I have an example of one. Where is my swaps? I have my swaps. Hold on. I can show you an example of one. It's in my book to bind. So I'm making a book out of all of our swaps that we're doing. Couple of people did belly bands. Judy did one. Sid did one. I don't want to get these out. Well, I can put them back in order, Tam. So, someplace. Okay, so Sid did a belly band. It's basically attached to the top and the bottom, and you slide something in. Judy did like a cardstock one, and she put a slider on it, but it was attached inside, so it's thicker and heavier, and she put a little notebook in here. So that was my thought process, something like this with the belly bands inside of our journal to hold that little booklet. Debbie, can I tell you what a jelly print is? Oh, my friend, yes, I can. So jelly printing, I'm pretty sure half the people in this room just snorted and went, oh my gosh, here we go. Oh, you know I love you all dearly. So I'm going to set this aside. We're going to put this back. I've shown you Belly Band's demo next week. Maria, text that to me because I'll lose the paper I write it on right now. My brain is like a million miles an hour right now. Thank you, love. I appreciate you. I know you did. You all went, oh no, here we go. Guys, jelly printing is something that I demo very frequently on this app. It is something that I love to do. As a matter of fact, for my raid train yesterday, I did a jelly printing demo on fabric. So there are many different. Oh no, we're not doing it. I'm just showing you. Yes. Be prepared to be addicted to jelly printing. It is one of my favorite things to do. It is one of my favorite things to teach. Hi, my love. My husband's even laughing out loud. He's like, here we go. She's going to be covered in paint by the time I get home from work. There's different brands. There's Jelly Arts. If you put in gel plates, you'll pull up. There's a couple of different brands that you can purchase, and the other one I can't think of. I'll save my soul. So this is kind of dirty, but I'm going to show you because we were doing classes and it has paint on it. It is a gel plate. It is movable. You roll paint on it. You can draw on it. You can put texture, use stencils. You can use acrylic paints. You can use watercolors. You can use Sharpie. You can use spray inks. The possibilities are mind-boggling. But what happens is you have no control because you put all of those things on this plate and then you put a piece of paper down, whatever it may be, copy paper, all the things. You have all your plate, you put it down and you pull your print and you get all of these things. These were done with plants. What did he say? Was Rob talking smack up here? Babe, are you talking smack? Belly bands. This is going to be your next obsession, I'm telling you. Prepare to be addicted. Even Rob laughed out loud. Oh, just do the damn thing. You ordered them for my buy it now. Okay. Debbie, what's your favorite color? You know, the beautiful thing is I can ask somebody what their favorite color is and I can pull out prints for them of that color. This was an oleander bush that I printed yesterday. These are just pulling extra. Oh, you're grabbing the mail. That means we can do unboxings because this show hasn't gone on long enough. There's this. That is elderberry tree leaves. This is just me rolling paint off of my, Jane, have sweet dreams, my friend. Blues, yellows, and reds. Okay. I will, figure that out. Red's my husband's favorite color. They come in different sizes. This one is an 8x10. My favorite one to use is the 9x12 because I can lay a full sheet on it and not have white edges. I use them for book pages. I use them for art, for collage. I use them for giveaways. I use them for people like you that want to check it out and grab a sheet inexpensively and see what it looks like. Um, let's see, I have more jelly prints over here. I have multiple books that are made with them. This is one of my working journals. You can jelly print on old bills. One of my favorites to use is the grid paper because I have the lines to write on. These are done with stencils. Let me see if I can slide this over so you can see a little bit more. Old bills. These are stencils. I have old printables from kits that I didn't use. This is a mandala stencil. All of these things you can do with a jelly plate. Yesterday I demonstrated printing on fabric. This is on linen fabric. This is on, that's the result of that. Here's some leaves that we printed on black fabric. Those are grape leaves. These are horehound plant that I grow for medicine. Have I bored you all to death yet? I can rant and rave about the jelly plate all day long. If you don't have one, start saving your money. They're not cheap anymore. It is all amazing. Thank you. This was just a test I did on fabric with some elderberry leaves again. It's these are some bulrushes that we got when we were hiking up in Prescott. It's a whole thing. They are very versatile. You can do a lot of different things with them. I demo it very frequently. If you have a bunch of acrylic paint, you like the blue and the yellow together. Yeah. If you have a ton of acrylic paint, a brayer and a jelly plate, it's just a thing. So, all of those things. Does anybody else have any questions, or are we pretty good for the day? I think we accomplished a lot today, even though my brain is in la la land, right? Are we impressed? I'm tired from yesterday, y'all. Tired. You're very welcome, Debbie. Thank you for asking. I love sharing my obsession with creating. So there is that. Does anybody need anything else? Do you want me to run any items or are we good to go? Find somebody to raid.
What do you want in there?
The love of my life just showed up with packages.
Where? Oh, kill.
The box, I'm assuming, is from Diana.
This is from your sisters.
Okay.
And then these came in the mail.
Okay, that is not what I thought it was. Those are for the bead room.
Okay.
For tomorrow.
Got it.
So we'll show those tomorrow in the bead room. I'm good to go. Wendy, if you have any questions about this or whatever, just send me a text. Obviously, I'm going to be up for hours and hours. It is only 5 o'clock here. Rob just got home from work and I haven't even started dinner. So there is that. Um, yeah, it's a thing. Please bookmark my show tomorrow is Wednesday is it's 8:30 there, so you're East Coast. Yeah. I'm right now because Arizona doesn't change time. Right now we are in Pacific time until the time change again. And then when it changes time to get again, we go to mountain time. So yeah, we don't change. We just stay the same day, same time. It's so cool. Um Tomorrow, Wednesday, we are going to be in the bead room. I will be selling beads and findings. Um, and then Thursday, we're going to be doing a jewelry show. And I'm going to be showing some of my handmade jewelry and also going to be doing a seller support chat Thursday is this week. Yes. So there is that. Tamika, Custom Wood Burning, was talking about a thing that she's starting for handmade for Sundays. Probably not this weekend. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to start maybe doing some Sunday shows just to help support the handmade community. So that could be a thing that we're coming up to soon. So, if you are still watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate all of you. Um, I'm going to see if there is somebody in the handmade community that we could raid. Um, One of our friends, one of our paper crafters, somebody that needs some of us to bounce into them and make them happy. I don't know. I'm scrolling through here. Arts and handmade. Let's see what we got there. Oh, GS. Y'all, Gina's got some amazing ephemera. Yeah, a lot of you are in Florida. I'm trying to find somebody to raid, and I'm just. Everybody's got a ton of people in their show. You don't need me to raid you. I can't. I, I'm not, I'm not big on the whole acrylic beads for the pins. Um, and that is a lot of what is on right now. So let's go. Sarah WWW. Oh, this is she's funny. She's doing handmade clothing. Um, she's a hoot. She rides our train. Good night, loves. All of you. Thank you so much for hanging with me. We're going to go check out Sarah. She does our raid train in the handmade quite frequently, and we are going to go see what. Wait, where'd she go? She's gone. All right, so we're going to go to Lazy Eyed Artist. I don't know what she does. It says handcrafted. That's all I know. Oh, wait, Amber, who is she co hosting with? Reverse. Allie. Okay, hold on. We're going to go see them. Creator Aid, thank you so much for catching me. Where is Allie? How come she's not coming up on my thing? Got it. We're going to go see Allie and Carmen. Good catch, y'all. Thank you. Mwah. Much love to you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being here. Much love. I will see you all tomorrow in the bead room for more shenanigans. Have a blessed rest of your night. Bye.